the Denver Broncos. Take it away.
Yeah, my Broncos obviously last year made the playoffs surprisingly. Um, ran into the Bills, and then we got smoked. But it was a hell of a ride. The Bo Nix experience was a complete success at this point
Yep.
because the first round draft pick, who turns out to be a pretty good quarterback, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in this draft class, that includes Caleb Williams. I'm very high on Bo Nix. So let's start building this team around Bo Nix with the idea of let's take advantage of this rookie contract quarterback. That's the
Yeah.
when you have a rookie that's good, you automatically think look at the Commanders. Pay $17 million to Debo Samuel because they can afford to do it because not paying a quarterback. So my thought is that so right now they're standing at $41 million in like cap space. You cut Alex Singleton, who was hurt last year, and PJ Locke, who just didn't turn out to be anything good. You save about nine-ish million, so you have about $50 million to play with here. So a pretty good amount. I think if you cut Powers or renegotiate, you can create another five. So you have a little room here. My first one is a linebacker who I don't understand why people hate him or why he's bouncing around.
Yeah.
Linebacker Ernest Jones, former Seattle, former Tennessee, former Miami linebacker, not Miami, Tennessee, Seattle. Yeah. He
Yeah.
plays no LA Ram linebacker. Sorry. He's
Oh,
played
yeah.
everywhere. We forget that he started with the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Broncos have been looking for a middle linebacker for a long time. Last year, Singleton got hurt early. We had Cody Barton play, then we had Josie Jewell a couple years ago. Just as average linebacker as you can get. I think they finally kind of take care of it here. It would have been Zach Bond because Zach Bond connection with Sean Payton. That's who I was gonna have. Then the Bond news came out, so this is the plan B. And the hell of a plan B. 25 years old, 100 plus tackles in almost every year of his career, and they can afford to pay him. So yeah, I think this is a nice fit here to add to that defense, which led the team which led the NFL in sacks last year. So an aggressive downhill defense, get an anchor in the middle, and I think this is a slam dunk like fit.
Yeah, I think Ernest Jones is going to get paid. If you notice here, Spotrac, as soon as Bond was signed, Spotrac upped his projected
Yeah,
because I think everyone behind oh God, homeboy from the
Bolton,
Chiefs,
Bolton.
Nick Bolton, he's the cream of the crop. Like he's the guy.
Yeah,
And I like Ernest Jones. I like him in the middle of a tough-minded, defensive-minded team like the
yeah,
Denver Broncos. I think will end up being, and I think he can be that middle tier, right? You have some
yeah.
really good back end players. You're building up that defensive line. I think a guy in the middle, and like we said last show, you look around the league right now, and every good defense has one of these guys. The Ravens, they got their boy, right? They got not I'm my mind between. Yeah. And then you think of the Chiefs. They've been rolling with Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil and Leo Chanel. The Eagles last year, best defense in the league. Zach Baum is an All-Pro. And so I think Ernest Jones, slam dunk fit here. And to your point too, just to give people an idea of what you mean by take advantage of a rookie contract. Bo Nix, his cap hit for the next 4 years, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $5 million. For a guy who we saw go toe to toe with Joe Burrow last year at the end of the season.
Yep.
That's what we mean. That kind of guy frees up a lot of money. Move on here to a safety I know you really like.
Yeah, safety Julian Blackman played for the Colts. Can play really any. He can play the free safety, the strong safety, good.
Yeah.
Kind of a master of what is it? A good at all trades, master of none, or what are the phrases? And I think last offseason we signed Brandon Jones, who played phenomenally. But like I said earlier, PJ Locke didn't pan out. We cut Kip Stearns like one year ago, so we're looking for a strong safety. Blackman could play that. And also can switch, can do a lot of things. He's a versatile tackling, one of the better tackling safeties in the league. I love him here in this defense that puts a lot on the secondary because we are a very aggressive team. We put a lot on our secondary to just kind of stand up. So I think here under a Van Joseph defense, which prioritizes safeties and defensive backs, he would truly shine here.
Yeah, old boy back at defensive coordinator. And I think he wants to build up this. We saw this secondary. We saw that they, like you said, are going to rely on this secondary to fend for themselves. They're going to leave them out there and let them do their thing. We saw one of the exciting whites. Was it Riley Moss?
Yep, Riley Moss.
We saw him
Shiny
get
White.
left out there over and over again against
Yep.
T. Higgins. Didn't go well that day, but I don't think they're going to shy away from it. I think that's how they're going to play defense.
Yep.
And I think you add Julian Blackmon to the mix that you have back there already. And I think you're starting to build one of the best secondaries in the league.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated in the league. And that's why I like this kind of move. Like, we know we had a strength last year. Let's double down on that. Let's make it the best unit in the league.
Yeah, but obviously you have defensive player of the year, Surtain back there. So you start surrounding him. Just build around Surtain, get good safeties next to him, get good linebackers, build this defense up. This defense, Broncos defense has been good for the last decade. So this is just keep up, what you guys are doing. The next guy.
Yeah,
next guy here is a running back who is underrated, reliable, good pass catcher, right? It won't cost a lot because at this point, I spent a lot of money on Ernest Jones and Julian Blackmon already. So I'm looking for a cost-efficient one-year deal. You're gonna let Javonte Williams walk. Truly ass last year. I was a big Javonte Williams believer. I backed Javonte Williams through and through. After the injury, I was a big. He's just not good. He's not good. I don't know if the injury never got back or it'll take longer. I'm not putting any money towards him. I'm putting the money towards Rico Dowdle, who proved last year on a bad Cowboys offense he can be productive. He had a very, very good season last year. Can catch the ball, which is a big in like a Sean Payton offense. And Sean Payton will elevate him to a different level even. So yeah, here Rico Dowdle for like a one-year deal. This is a very deep running back draft class. You can sign or you could draft a guy in second, third round and to pair with Dowdle. But I think starting off with Dowdle will give you a nice baseline of like we have a solid back. Last year we didn't have a solid back. We were near last in yards per carry because we were just bad. We're just a bad running team last year. So I think attacking this early and Najee what might be too much for us. I think this is a nice, safe landing spot for us.
Yeah, that was interesting to me. A report just came out that the Cowboys were interested in bringing him back and maybe pairing him with a running back from the from the draft. But I think he's going to have a market. I think he showed enough last year where it's going to pique their interest. And if they miss out on Najee Harris and maybe you have Jacob Dobbins up there or whoever else you might put at the top of that, Rico Dowdle's not that far behind. And I know it's a deep class in the draft, and so maybe a lot of people are going to think like the Cowboys, like, hey, you get Rico Dowdle, we think an underrated type of player, and let's take a shot at someone in the draft, and we have a shot at a really good backfield for relatively cheap next year. And I think Dowdle with the Broncos, is he RB1? I don't know. I don't know if Sean Payton will ever have an RB1. I think he likes having multiple guys.
Yeah.
And I think adding to the mix is a good idea.
Yeah, and then there's last one here, just familiarity kind of pick here. Juwan Johnson, hurt most of his career, but really shine was brought out by Sean Payton and that offense here. I think signing here would be a nice because last year we had Troutman and a bunch of shit. I'm telling you, at tight end wasn't a lot. I watched every Brown game 3 or 4 times. I know what we had. We had very bad tight end play.
Release Greg Dulcich, right?
We just cut him because he just couldn't block, and he couldn't catch the ball either. So there's 2 things that tight end needs to do. He couldn't do either. Juwan Johnson gives, like I said, he's a nice baseline at tight end. We're like, at least we have an average guy here. So in the draft, we don't have to. We could, but we don't have to. That being said, I'll pair him with my draft pick. 20th pick overall. I have them selecting tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Pair him with Juwan Johnson. You get a nice. Now you've made a weakness one of your strengths. You have a deep tight end room, and we all know how much Sean Payton loves to have tight ends, loves to have that joker kind of weapon. Tyler Warren is being projected as a kind of the like an offensive weapon. Not saying he's a Bowers, but in that realm where like you just put him out on the field and he'll just create havoc. So I think Tyler Warren here at pick number 20, if he lasts that long, stand-up pick for a head coach Sean Payton who loves tight ends. Pause.
Yeah, I think doubling up on the tight ends here would be not the sexiest things to the fans, but I'm telling you, it would work.
Yeah,
it would work with that Broncos offense. And I think these guys would get peppered with targets. Excuse me, with Bo Nix. Tyler Warren, you said at the end there, if he lasts this long, yes, run this up. A lot of people like Loveland as well. I like Loveland is a little bit more like Jimmy Graham, who obviously did really well with Sean Payton, but I think Tyler Warren, the comp that I've heard over and over again is Rob Gronkowski. Just step in right now as a blocker, almost a sixth offensive lineman, and then it's just an absolute beast with the ball in his hands. Just ready right now to be a starting tight end.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Sean Payton, he makes his tight ends block. You need to be able to block in his scheme. That's why I didn't have the Broncos trading for Kyle Pitts, because he can't block.
Right.
Sean Payton loves tight ends who block, who are or if they can't block, they're big guys who can at least put a body on them. That's why Dulcich didn't work out. That's why all these tight ends just don't work out, because Sean Payton likes tight ends who can do everything, so you don't have to take him off the field in obvious passing situations. So Tyler Warren here would be a slam dunk. I'd be so thrilled.
It feels like the first year that we're going to go, besides year one where he brought in Russell Wilson and those guys. But it feels like since then, this is the first time that the Broncos are going into a season with truly high hopes. Yeah. We have expectations now of Bo Nix and of this team, and we believe in what we saw last year. That Bengals game to me is where I really was sold on Bo Nix and just this team, the toughness. Marvin Mims showed out that game. And so I think they have an offseason like this, and the expectations should be high. And I think the Chargers and the Broncos, if they have offseasons like this, will challenge the Chiefs next year for a division, because the Chiefs has a lot of question marks. I'm impressed with the job you did, and I hope you get it. I hope you get all this that you want.
Yeah, I was trying to be realistic. $50 million isn't much anymore. So I think Dowdle and Juwan Johnson deals would be 1 year or 2 years, low money. If this would happen for the Broncos, I'd be thrilled. This is exactly what they need.